Racist cop confronts black woman FBI chief. 5 minutes later, his career ends. The evening sun stretched long shadows across the grocery store parking lot as Officer James Reynolds sat in his patrol car. Known for his strict adherence to the law and his personal biases, James was a well-known figure in the area. He took pride in maintaining order, though his methods often crossed the line into unnecessary scrutiny, particularly when dealing with people of color. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video to show your support. On this particular evening, James's attention locked onto a black woman sitting casually on the hood of a car. She was on the phone, laughing and gesturing as she spoke. To James, her relaxed demeanor felt out of place, maybe even suspicious. He watched her for a few moments, his assumptions solidifying into certainty. Deciding to investigate, James stepped out of his car, adjusting his belt and straightening his badge as he approached. His heavy, authoritative presence was impossible to miss. The woman noticed him but continued her conversation, her calm confidence completely undeterred. That only fueled James's suspicion. Stopping a few feet away, he interrupted her call and demanded to see her identification, claiming it was standard procedure for anyone lingering on private property. The woman, still calm, explained there was no legal reason for her to show her ID. She told him she was simply waiting for someone and wasn't engaging in anything unlawful. James's tone turned sharp as he accused her of refusing to cooperate. He warned her that failing to comply would result in her arrest for obstruction. His voice rang out across the parking lot, drawing the attention of a few shoppers. The woman, unbothered by his threats, ended her call. She reached into her purse, but not for her ID. Instead, she pulled out something entirely unexpected. James tensed, his hand instinctively hovering near his holster. But instead of a weapon or even her ID, the woman revealed a leather wallet. Flipping it open, she displayed a gleaming FBI badge. James froze, his confidence evaporating in an instant. The bold letters spelling Federal Bureau of Investigation stared back at him like a spotlight cutting through the dark. His face went pale as the gravity of his mistake set in. Calmly, the woman introduced herself as a federal agent. The air around her shifted as her casual demeanor gave way to an unmistakable authority. She told James his actions were not only unnecessary, but also a reflection of a deeper issue, a bias that had no place in law enforcement. James stammered, scrambling to explain himself. His excuses ranged from just doing my job to vague concerns about potential threats. But the agent's piercing gaze silenced him. Taking out her phone, she made a call. Within minutes, the situation spiraled beyond James's control. She contacted his department, detailed the encounter, and requested an immediate review of his conduct. James was left standing there, humiliated and powerless, as the woman drove away, calm and composed. By the time he returned to the station that evening, his superiors were already waiting for him. After a thorough investigation, the department deemed James's behavior unacceptable. His assumptions and overreach had not only embarrassed the force, but also highlighted a systemic issue they could no longer ignore. He was suspended without pay for a month, a punishment that sent ripples through the department and the local community. During his suspension, James had time to reflect. The incident wasn't just a professional setback, it was a wake-up call. The media picked up the story, and public opinion overwhelmingly turned against him. Community leaders and activists demanded broader changes, calling for training programs to address bias in policing. Meanwhile, the FBI agent became a symbol of resilience and justice. Her decision to stand firm against injustice, especially when it came from a fellow law enforcement officer, resonated deeply. For James, the month away from his badge became a turning point. He attended seminars, engaged with community members, and began to grasp the deep mistrust between law enforcement and marginalized communities. When he returned to duty, he wasn't the same officer. He carried with him the weight of his actions and the lesson that power must always be wielded with accountability. That confrontation in the parking lot became more than just an embarrassing moment for one officer. It became a catalyst for change. The department implemented mandatory bias training, and the community felt a renewed sense of hope. As for the FBI agent, she continued her work knowing that she had made an impact, not just in that moment, but in sparking a larger conversation. Her badge wasn't just a symbol of authority, it was a beacon of justice and a reminder that standing firm against prejudice is where true change begins. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to show your support.